The surprising history of ketchup. Hello and welcome to Crazy Food History, where we explore the world of food and drink. Whether it's on your fries, your burger, or your morning eggs, almost everyone loves ketchup. But have you ever stopped to wonder where this red and tangy condiment actually comes from? Turns out, the history of ketchup is anything but ordinary. From its roots as a fermented fish sauce to its role in American culture and cuisine, you won't believe the surprising twists and turns that led to the ketchup we know and squeeze today. So get some fries, put some ketchup on top, and watch the surprising history of ketchup here in the next few minutes. When you think of ketchup, you might picture a bottle of red stuff sitting next to a pile of fries. But did you know that the origins of ketchup go back centuries and span the globe? It all started in Asia, where people used fermented fish sauces and pastes to flavor their food. In fact, one of the earliest known versions of ketchup was a Chinese condiment called ke-tsiap, which was made from, you guessed it, fermented fish. Now, if the idea of fishy ketchup doesn't exactly whet your appetite, fear not. As ketchup made its way from Asia to Europe, folks started experimenting with different ingredients to create their own versions of the sauce. They added everything from mushrooms to walnuts to anchovies, all in an attempt to find the perfect flavor. It wasn't until the sauce arrived in America in the 19th century that it really started to take off. But let's get back to those ancient origins for a minute. It's said that ke-tsiap was so highly prized in its home country that it was used as currency. Yep, you heard right. People were trading fermented fish sauce like it was gold. And when it came to preparing the sauce, well, let's just say it wasn't exactly a walk in the park. Making ke-tsiap involved fermenting fish and soybeans in earthenware jars for months on end until the mixture turned into a thick, fragrant paste. Now, if you're thinking that sounds like a lot of work for a condiment, well, you're not alone. But the people of Asia were onto something when they discovered that adding a tasty sauce to their meals could transform even the most basic dishes into something spectacular. And that's a lesson that we in America have taken heart to too. Did you know that ketchup wasn't always the sweet and tomato-y condiment that we know and love today? Ketchup may be a mainstay in American cuisine, but did you know that it wasn't always like this? Ketchup has undergone quite a few changes over the course of history, and the beginning of these changes can be traced back to when Europeans first had access to the condiment. It wasn't until the 17th century that ketchup found its way to Europe, and even then, it didn't look anything like the sauce we know today. In point of fact, tomatoes weren't even used in production. The Europeans tried their hand at making their own versions of the sauce using a wide variety of different ingredients, including, but not limited to, mushrooms, walnuts, and anchovies. Can you even fathom dipping your fries in ketchup made with anchovies? Ugh. A burst of flavors like that may take some getting used to for some people. Despite its less than appetizing origins, ketchup became popular in the United States in the 19th century. Companies were experimenting with different recipes and flavors, trying to find the perfect combination that would win over the American palate. And win it over they did. By the turn of the 20th century, ketchup was a staple in American households. Back in 1876, a man named Henry J. Heinz began selling his own version of ketchup. Heinz's recipe was unique because it contained a higher percentage of tomatoes than other ketchups on the market. In fact, his recipe called for twice as many tomatoes as the competition, giving his ketchup a richer, sweeter flavor that people couldn't get enough of. But Heinz's formula includes vinegar and sugar in addition to tomatoes. These ingredients gave the sauce a sweet and tangy flavor that set it apart from other ketchups on the market. It was a winning combination that would help Heinz ketchup rise to the top of the condiment world. Of course, it wasn't just the recipe that made Heinz ketchup so popular. It was also the marketing. Heinz was a master of branding, using eye-catching logos and slogans to make his products stand out on grocery store shelves. In 1892, he introduced the iconic 57 variety slogan, even though his company actually produced more than 60 products at the time. The slogan was a hit, and it's still used today, more than a century later. Great! Heinz also focused on convenience, introducing the world to his patented glass pickle bottle in 1876. This clear glass bottle allowed customers to see exactly what they were getting, and its narrow neck made it easier to pour the ketchup without making a mess. Today, Heinz ketchup is still made using the same recipe and high-quality ingredients that made it famous over a century ago. So the next time you're enjoying a hot dog, burger, or fries with a generous dollop of Heinz ketchup, remember that you're enjoying a condiment with a rich history and a taste that's been loved by Americans for generations. It's no secret that ketchup is a staple in American cuisine. Whether you're slathering it on a hot dog or dipping your fries into a bowl of the stuff, ketchup is an integral part of the American food experience. But why is that? Part of it has to do with the history of ketchup itself. As we've already discussed, ketchup has a long and fascinating history that dates back centuries. But in America, ketchup took on a special significance. During the Industrial Revolution, ketchup was one of the first mass-produced condiments, and it quickly became a symbol of progress and modernity. People loved the convenience of being able to buy ketchup in a bottle, and the tangy, sweet flavor of the sauce quickly won over hearts and taste buds. But ketchup's popularity wasn't just a matter of convenience. It also played a role in shaping American culture. Ketchup was one of the first condiments to truly go mainstream, and it became a symbol of American identity. It's no coincidence that ketchup is often associated with classic American foods like hot dogs and hamburgers. These dishes are themselves cultural touchstones that are closely tied to American identity. Ketchup has also been featured in countless movies, TV shows, and other forms of media over the years. From the iconic Heinz ketchup jingle to scenes of characters pouring ketchup onto their food, the condiment has become a cultural shorthand for everything from comfort food to family dinners. But perhaps the most interesting thing about ketchup's place in American culture is how it continues to evolve. Today, there are countless variations of ketchup available on the market, from spicy to organic to artisanal. People continue to find new and creative ways to use ketchup in their cooking, from using it as a marinade for meats to mixing it into sauces and dressings. Ketchup has come a long way since its humble beginnings as a fish sauce in ancient China. It's been adapted and reinvented over the centuries, taking on new flavors and ingredients as it spread across the globe. From the mushroom ketchup of Georgian England to the tomato ketchup we know and love today, this condiment has a rich and fascinating history. But no matter how it's served, ketchup has always been more than just a condiment. It's a symbol of cultural exchange and innovation, a testament to the power of food to bring people together. It's more than just a sauce. It's a feeling. It's the feeling of biting into a juicy hamburger and tasting the sweet tang of ketchup on your tongue. It is a feeling that's shared by people all over the world, and it's one of the few things that truly transcends borders and cultures. So, the next time you reach for the ketchup bottle, take a moment to appreciate the long and surprising history that's behind it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let us know what other food-related topics you would like us to cover.